Welcome to the age of exploration. A time when vast regions of the world remained unknown to Europeans, when maps ended in empty spaces, and when sailors willingly risked starvation, disease, mutiny, and death in pursuit of wealth, glory, and discovery. In the early 16th century, one expedition set out to achieve what many believed was impossible. Its goal was to find a western route to the legendary Spice Islands. Instead, it became one of the deadliest voyages ever undertaken. 5 ships left Spain. Only one returned. This is the story of Ferdinand Magellan's expedition. The voyage that completed the first circumnavigation of the Earth and forever changed humanity's understanding of the world. Welcome to the story of Magellan's voyage around the world. 5 wooden ships slowly departed Spain, disappearing into the Atlantic horizon. Their mission sounded simple on paper: find a western route to the Spice Islands. But what happened next would become one of the most brutal expeditions in human history. Around 270 men sailed into the unknown. Sailors, soldiers, priests, merchants, and adventurers, all chasing fortune. 3 years later, only 18 would return. Their leader, Ferdinand Magellan, would never see the end of the journey. Yet the voyage would permanently change humanity's understanding of the world. This is the true story of the first circumnavigation of Earth. The voyage that killed almost everyone. Ironically, Ferdinand Magellan was not Spanish. He was Portuguese. After serving Portugal in Asia, Magellan became convinced that the legendary Spice Islands could be reached by sailing west instead of east around Africa. Portugal rejected his proposal. Spain embraced it. King Charles I approved the expedition, providing 5 ships: Trinidad, San Antonio, Concepcion, Victoria, and Santiago. But from the very beginning, many Spanish captains distrusted Magellan. To them, he was a foreigner. And before the fleet even reached its destination, mutiny was already brewing. By early 1520, the fleet had reached the frozen coast of Patagonia. Winter trapped the ships. Food supplies dwindled. Morale collapsed. Then came the rebellion. Several captains launched a coordinated mutiny against Magellan. If they succeeded, the expedition would end immediately. Magellan responded with ruthless efficiency. One mutineer was executed. Another was abandoned on the desolate Patagonian coast. The message was clear. The expedition would continue, or everyone would die trying. Months later, the explorers finally discovered what they had been searching for: a narrow, dangerous passage cutting through the southern tip of South America. For weeks, the fleet navigated the maze of channels and cliffs. One ship deserted and fled back to Spain. Another had already been lost. Still, Magellan pushed forward. Then, on November 28, 1520, the remaining ships emerged into a vast ocean no European expedition had ever crossed. Magellan called it the Pacific. What happened next nearly destroyed the expedition. Magellan believed Asia was relatively close. He was catastrophically wrong. The Pacific was far larger than anyone imagined. For 98 days, the ships crossed empty ocean. No major islands, no fresh food, no rescue. The crew ate worm-infested biscuit powder, leather straps, even rat-infested scraps. Scurvy spread through the fleet. Men's gums swelled so badly they could no longer eat. 19 sailors died. Many believed they would never see land again. In March 1521, the survivors finally reached islands in the Western Pacific. Soon, they arrived in the Philippines. For a moment, victory seemed close. Magellan forged alliances with local rulers and encouraged conversions to Christianity. Then he made a decision that would cost him everything. On April 27th, 1521, Magellan personally led an attack against warriors on Mactan Island. He expected an easy victory. Instead, hundreds of warriors overwhelmed the Europeans. Surrounded in shallow water, Ferdinand Magellan was killed. His body was never recovered. Most expeditions would have ended there. This one did not. The surviving crew elected new leaders. Under Juan Sebastián Elcano, they reached the Spice Islands and loaded their ships with valuable cloves. But only one vessel remained capable of returning home: the Victoria. The journey back was equally horrific. Starvation struck again. Men died crossing the Indian Ocean. Others were captured by the Portuguese. Yet somehow, the Victoria survived. September 6, 1522. Nearly 3 years after departure, a single battered ship appeared on the Spanish coast. The Victoria returned. Of roughly 270 men who had begun the voyage, only 18 completed the full circumnavigation. The expedition had crossed the Atlantic, discovered a passage through South America, completed the first European crossing of the Pacific, reached Asia, crossed the Indian Ocean, rounded Africa, and returned home. Humanity now understood the true scale of the planet. The world was far larger than anyone had imagined. Magellan never completed the journey that made him famous. But his expedition achieved something unprecedented. The first voyage around the Earth, a journey so deadly that history almost forgot how close it came to failure. The greatest adventures in history are still waiting to be told. See you in the next documentary.